In this video, I'll go through the easiest and most effective way to set up your Notion workspace. Part 1, how to set up a new workspace where you have nothing in your Notion account and nothing you want to transfer. You're just ready to start fresh. And part 2 is if you want to transfer existing tasks into your new workspace. Even if you're in the second bucket, I'd recommend watching part 1, just so you can first understand the jar of life method. I'm making this video as I've gotten this question a few times over email and in quite a few comments, so subscribe for Notion tutorials and let's dive in. So what's this jar of life idea? The jar of life ideology is simple. If you had sand, pebbles, and rocks that you were trying to put into a jar, if you started with the sand and then put in the pebbles and then put in the rocks, it wouldn't all fit. But if you simply reversed the order and started with the big picture stuff first, so you first put in the rocks, then put in the pebbles, and then put in the sand, somehow everything fits. And this way of thinking is how I would recommend setting up your Notion workspace. You start with the big picture stuff, so your life buckets, then move on to the pebbles, so your projects, and then you move on to the sand, being your actual tasks. Now that we understand the jar of life metaphor, let's put it into practice in our Notion workspace. For this tutorial, I'll be using Headquarters, which is my premium Notion template. There's a link in the description if you're interested, but of course you can follow along with your own dashboard. So what most people do is go straight to the task list and start adding tasks in here. But like we understood in the jar of life idea, we want to first start with the life buckets. Now, if you're using Headquarters, you might not have to add any in here. We've got fitness, business, relationship, family and friends, study, career, job. But of course, if you're missing any, you could simply click here on New Page and then click here on New Bucket. And this will load in the whole template, everything that you need for this page. So let's call this here Side Hustle, just as an example. And by default now, any tasks that are related to Side Hustle, any notes that are related to the Side Hustle, and any projects related will show up on this page. Again, that's why we're starting with these big rocks, the life buckets, because now when we add projects, they can be relating to one of these life buckets. And when we add tasks, again, they can relate to this life bucket. Now, after you've set up all your life buckets, now comes adding your projects. So you'll click here on uncompleted projects and start adding them in here. Or if you want, you could click here on all projects and start adding them in here. So let's just say project A. By default, it loads in this project template here. So we have all the relevant tasks will show up, all the relevant notes, and you can add in your bottlenecks here to this particular project. So when I add a new project, I'll write project A and then say the relevant life bucket, the relevant status, and the deadline. So let's say this life bucket here is to do with this new side hustle we created. Let's say this is an ongoing project, like running an Instagram account or something, meaning we won't have a deadline, and I can click away. So we'll do this for all the different project ideas that we have. Now the reason we're adding them all in here is that it gives us opportunity for strategy. See, I have a rule that I try to stick to where I can only have 5 projects that are labeled as deadline, favorite, or ongoing. So only 5 projects here in total. And that's divided into 3 in my work life and 2 in my personal life. The rest will then sit here on no status. So if you have too many in your deadline, favorite, and ongoing, you probably have too much on your plate. And you won't make real progress on any of them. In which case, this project A here maybe can't be ongoing, and I might have to remove that and have it sitting down here under no status until I finish one of these 5 projects, and then I can lift this up as one of those 5 that I'll be focusing on. So now we've looked at the life buckets, which are the big rocks. We've looked at the projects, which are our pebbles. The next thing are the tasks. So this here is the sand in your jar. Now there's a few ways we could do this. We could either add it directly in here, task example, and then you label the project and bucket. So let's say this here is to do with side hustle, and the project here is project A. So I could either add it here directly in the task list, or I could scroll down and go to the project A page and add it directly in here, task, another example, and label the relevant bucket. Or I could go to my life buckets and add it directly in here. So I could go to the side hustle, task, another example, and then label the relevant project. So let's say this here is a new project, and let's call it project B. I'll click here on new project. So I've now created that new project by typing that in here, but it will also show up here. You can see project B under no status. So we're adding tasks, aka the sand, as the last thing we do because we want to know the relevant rocks and pebbles that this sand here is relating to. So that's how I would go about setting up a new workspace. You start with the big picture buckets, aka the rocks, then move to the projects, aka the pebbles, and then move to the tasks, aka the sand. Now let's go through if you have an existing workspace. By the way, at the end of the video, I'll go through if I actually think it's even worth adding your existing tasks. We'll get to that, but first I'll show you how you can do it if that's something you're interested in. Here we have your hypothetical old dashboard. Some of you might be using a task system like this, where it's just a simple to-do list, and some of you might be using a database, probably with fewer properties or at least different properties. What I would do is open up the side menu and have headquarters or whatever your new dashboard is as one of the pages, and then your old dashboard as another one of these pages. And I'll just show you how this works. If I tick in task 1 but not task 2 and 3, what I'm going to do here is highlight these and simply drag these to our new dashboard page. As you can see, it gets removed from here. And if we go to this headquarters page and scroll down, it will show up here at the bottom. Now what I can do is highlight these and drag these into my task list. And if you're using headquarters or a database that has sorting features, it will ask if you want to remove the sorting. So I'll say here, don't remove. Now, as you can see, these tasks get added like this. Task 1 is not ticked in. That is because these to-do lists here is not actually data. It is simply just basic text. So it doesn't know that this is a property here that could be a tick box. So what I would do is click on everything here and drag them in 2 lots. First, you drag in all the tasks that are ticked in. So let's say all of these are ticked in. And then let's say you have some other tasks that you haven't completed yet. Now you'll drag them in after. So I'll simply drag these in like that. And now when you drag these in, you know you don't have to tick in any of these. So I'll click here again on don't remove. These here will now stay unticked. So I've kept these tasks, task 1, 2, and 3. And then I went through and ticked them in. And then after I dragged these in and didn't tick them in. Now you can go through the process of adding the relevant bucket and project. Now let's say we have another scenario where you have tasks in a database. This here is where it gets a bit more tricky. Let's say if I tick in task A here and click on test, and you might have some other properties in here, whatever that is. This here, if I drag this out, that task here will actually still remember these properties, but there's some caveats there. If I drag this back, it will remember that. So it will remember that this is checked in and it will remember this property here. If I drag this out and then drag it into this new database page, it will forget those properties. So as you can see, it doesn't create a checkbox property or a select property. But here's where it gets confusing again. If I Control Z and go back, if we now drag this task directly into this new database, so not first onto the page and then in here, but we just drag it directly into this new database, it now remembers those properties. As you can see, it creates this checkbox property and it creates this drop-down property as well with test in here. This here is where it gets confusing. But I wanted to show you how that works so you can now make the decision. Now, I personally wouldn't do what I'm about to show you. But let's say we take my entire to-do list database here and drag it into headquarters. So if I scroll down here at the bottom, you can see that database sitting here. What I could do is drag this up now, and I'll just drop it here. What I could do is drag this property in here, but then it will create this and this property. So just like that, and I say don't remove. And if I open this up, it's created this select property here as well with the test. This will get extremely confusing because this new database has a ton of different properties. And now you'll be adding all of these existing properties as well. So I'll just drag that back here and then open this up and delete this property here and delete this extra property as well. So what I would do instead here is select all of your different tasks by clicking on this checkbox up here. So not this one next to the task, but actually on this top row, there's a secret checkbox here, which selects all of the items in your database and then dragging them onto the page first. Now, when you drag these in and you click on don't remove, you will simply have the name of the tasks. So task A, B, and C. But you are not adding any of these extra properties in them. So it's just a simple way for you to add the tasks in. But this will remove if any have been checked in or not. But of course, you can now go through and check in the relevant ones and label importance, urgency, state, bucket, and project for these tasks. And like I said before with these, you can do these in 2 lots if you want. First, you drag in the tasks that are uncompleted and then drag in the tasks that are completed, so you know which tasks here should be checked in and which to leave. Now let's go through if I think it's even worth taking your old tasks and adding them into your new workspace. Personally, I don't actually think it's worth it. I'll just show you an example. Let's add an item that I've never written before. Buy giraffe. If I have this in my old dashboard, I can easily find this if I want to. So if I'm working in headquarters and I think, what was that task that I did a year ago? What I can do is simply go up here to search and now search for buy giraffe. And I can find this item sitting here. If you're worried about losing your tasks, you can still find them by using this Notion search feature. I think it also depends on how many tasks you want to add. If you're bringing in 10 tasks, it's not too many buckets and projects that you have to go through. And hypothetically, let's say all the tasks you have are to do with your job. You'll simply select a job, and label that to all of them like that. But if you're bringing in 200 tasks that are all in different life buckets and projects, it might be a bit more work. Now, let's say you have multiple to-do lists. Let's say you have a to-do list for your job. And then let's say you have a separate to-do list for fitness, as an example. Well, what you can do is then drag these tasks into headquarters or whatever your new dashboard is. And then instead of dragging these tasks here into this task list, what you can do is drag them directly into this life bucket. Again, that's why we started with the bucket of life, ensuring we have all of the relevant buckets here. So now I can take these and drag them to the job page. So because we're on the job page, if I click here on all job tasks, by default, the tasks have to be related to my job. So if I drag these tasks in now, automatically it will assign them with job, as you can see. But that system will only really work if you're separating your to-do lists by job, fitness, etc. I hope this answered all your questions. Let me know in the comments if you have any more. If you're interested in headquarters, by the way, you can click here to see the full tour. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful.